Now that we have a better understanding of the Select tool and how to manipulate objects, let's go ahead and create our first sign. On the screen is a sign we're going to produce. Let's start a new document by one of the following actions. Clicking on File and New, click on the New button in our standard toolbar, or simply press Ctrl-N on the keyboard. We want to set up the document so that it matches the size of our sign, which is 24 inches wide by 12 inches high. We can do this in Production Manager. We'll set the width to 24 inches and the height to 12 inches. Let's zoom out a little to see our border, and zoom in to the document page. We don't necessarily want our sign to be all the way to the edge of our document. In the next tab in Production Manager, it will allow us to set margins within the sign. In this case, we'll set up a 1-inch margin. You'll notice that the margins are marked out by this rectangle, similar in color and function to the guides that we talked about in the previous lesson. As with guides that we place on our drawing, these margin lines will neither be printed nor cut. Let's start our design by placing text on the drawing area. When examining the text tool, you'll notice that there is a little arrow showing that there's a hidden tool within this text tool. This indicates that if we click and hold the text tool button, a flyout toolbar appears showing 2 text tool buttons. Let's drag these out and place them above so we can access them easily. The first text tool is for placing text horizontally. The second text tool is used for placing text vertically. To see how these work, we'll click on the first text tool. Click once where we want the text in the drawing area and start typing. Let's click on the second tool. Click once on the drawing area where we want to start the text, and start typing. This time the text is placed vertically. Let's delete these by clicking on the Select tool, selecting the 2 text objects, and pressing the Delete key. Let's go ahead and enter the text for our sign. We'll choose the horizontal text tool. But before we start typing, we'll want to make sure that we have the correct font selected. We can do this within Production Manager. In this first pull-down menu, we have a list of all the fonts loaded on our computer that we can choose from. In this case, though, we're going to use the Arial font. Set the font size to 2.25 inches. Let's click in the drawing area and start typing our text Northwest. As it is similar to other writing apps, press Enter for a new line. Financial, Enter, and then Group. We need to make some adjustments to the text, and as we have done, make some changes within Production Manager. Notice that looking at the settings, they are similar to ones you may have used in other writing apps, such as Microsoft Word. The text settings in Design Central are categorized into 2 groups. The first tab being options affecting the style of the characters. The second tab being options affecting the style of the paragraphs. Let's highlight or select all the text by clicking and holding our mouse button and dragging the cursor all the way to the bottom of the text. Let's click on the second tab to demonstrate some of the settings available for the paragraph style. Here we can set the justification from left, center, right, or fully justified. We can have the text go backwards or forwards. We can even reverse the lines if we have multiple lines of text. We can set the spacing between the words, which in this case doesn't apply because each line has only one word. If you would like to use tabs, the next value sets the distance of the tabs. At the bottom of Design Central, there is this Edit button, where the text can be edited. Let's select the text again and set justification to the left. Let's go back to the first tab. In our project here, we need to change the first letter of the three words to a bolder font. Let's go ahead and highlight the first letter of Northwest. Click and hold the mouse button down and select the N in Northwest. Once selected, the font can be changed within Design Central. We'll click on the list of fonts and choose Arial Black. Now we can repeat those steps for the words financial and group. Let's select all the text again. The lines of the text are a little spread out. We can tighten them up by using the line spacing option in the Production Manager. It's this value here. Currently it is grayed out. Let's click the side arrow and choose Specify. Now we can decrease the value by pressing the bottom arrow. It will bring those lines closer together. Let's spread the letters out a little. We can do this by adjusting the tracking value. If we increase the value, the characters will now spread. Our next goal is to have the first letters of each word align in the middle and the rest of the characters align from the left side. Since the three lines are considered as one object, there's no way that we can move the first letter of each word without affecting the other letters. There are a couple of steps that we need to take. First, the text needs to be broken apart into three lines. This is done by selecting the text, clicking on the text pull-down menu, and clicking Break Apart. This separates the three lines of text, or in this case, the three words, into three separate objects. But in order to align just the first letter of each word, we need to break down the text even further and separate the letters. Let's select the first word. Click on the text pull-down menu and select Break Apart again. The text is now broken down to separate letters. Let's do the same for the other two words.